is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
ABC Sports presents live in its 30th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today, from Erie, Pennsylvania, it's the $130,000 Flagship City Open. In our first game, you'll see the 1986 PBA Player of the Year, Walter Ray Williams, Jr. of Stockton, California. He'll face fourth-seeded Jeff Bellinger of Columbia, South Carolina. The winner of that first game will bowl the legend from Detroit, Harry Sullins. In the semifinal game, we'll see the PBA's president, Marc McDowell of Madison, Wisconsin. And our tournament leader is looking for his second PBA title from San Diego, Jess Stayrook. That's our outstanding field of finalists for this afternoon's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. For the first time ever, our Professional Bowlers Tour telecast is originating in Erie, Pennsylvania, that friendly northwestern Pennsylvania flagship city, an area historically famous for the building of tall ships, warships, during the War of 1812 and the Battle of Lake Erie. You're looking at one of those tall ships, the square-rigged two-master U.S. brig Niagara. Look at her, beautifully restored by all the people here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. Yes, she's fully operable, under sail, that's right. 197 feet in length. She has a beam of 30 feet, requires only 9 feet of water at the stern to sail. You see two crew members there, modern day, with the dress of the period of 1813 when the battle took place. Commodore Perry was aboard her when his Lawrence, the flagship, got into trouble. He came to the Niagara and he flew his battle flag, which said merely, "Don't give up the ship." We won't. Neither has our colleague, my first mate, Nelson Burton Jr., who's out at Eastway Lanes. The final's about to get underway, so let's join Bo there right now.
Thank you, Commodore Schenkel. An interesting part of the American history, the War of 1812. And not far from Lake Erie is Eastway Lanes, site of the inaugural Flagship City Open. We've had sellout crowds all week long. In fact, for today's crowd, they sold out the championship round in less than an hour. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had a player do something that hasn't been done for him in 9 years, win his first title, and last week he also supplied one of the great thrills we've had in professional bowling. John Mazza, reflect on the last 2 weeks for you.
Well, when I won my first title, Bo, it was just a tremendous amount of pressure lifted from me, and when I made this 710, it was like for 2 minutes I didn't believe it happened. I'm still in shock.
Well, one of the great thrills in bowling. Mark Roth, the only other player to convert to 710. Now, John, this week you had another good week, didn't make the top 5, but you have a good feeling of what's going to happen in the championship round, so kind of critique the players for me and pick a winner.
Well, Bo, I think that Harry Sullins is going to be real tough. He averaged more than any right-hander on the pair. Marc McDowell's firm and aggressive speed on the outside is going to be real tough to beat, and Jess Stayrook is focused. He's tough.
Well, you picked the trifecta. I'll pick Stayrook right at the top. So let's look at how the players played the championship pair. First place, the PBA has put oil 45 feet down the lane. It's put 30 feet, then dragged to the 45-foot mark. It's dry the last 15 feet. Now we have the left-hander, Jeff Stayrook, playing the deep inside line. He's over the fourth arrow, playing a real hold spot into the 1-2. The right-handers are playing some pretty good size hooks out over the second arrow, almost out to the edge, into the 1-3 pocket, Chris. We're going to have some exciting action on the tour and exciting action in Wide World of Sports later.
That's right. On Wide World later is special performances on the ice in Barcelona, Spain. Torval and Dean. Oh, a host of others. Robin Cousins, Roz Sumners, Brian Boitano, you name them, they'll be on Wide World of Sports. Don't miss that show. And don't miss our live telecast here in Erie, where the winner will get 20, runner-up 10, 5, 7, 55, and 45 before a standing room only crowd. First time, as we indicated at the top of the telecast. Erie, Pennsylvania is the site. And the finals now. And in the finals, 5, they are among the finest bowlers in the world. Here's one of the most colorful, Walter Ray Williams. 5 titles, 1986 Player of the Year, World Horseshoe Pitching Champion. leaving the 2-4-5. Walter Williams, another Californian on our telecast, Bo.
Right, Chris, and he was very fortunate to get into the top 5. Bruce Hamilton needed a spare on the final ball last night. 42nd game. Phil framed the 11th frame, left the 3-6, knocked out only the 3, left the 6 pin, and Walter made it by 1 pin.
Okay. So Walter's got that always tense first frame out of the way, and now we get a look at Columbia, South Carolina's Jeff Bellinger. Compact in his style and his physique at 5'10", 215 pounds, a 37-year-older. 2 titles, would like his 3rd right here in Erie. First shot. Jeff didn't have the greatest average on this pair of 178 in 2 games, but he's on today, Bo.
One of the real power players in bowling. 5-step delivery, shoveling that ball. Now look where that ball is inside out. Look at the wrist action, Chris. I still say that he has one of the hardest hitting, what I call heaviest hitting balls in all of professional bowling. He gets that from cupping the wrist, the short backswing. Obviously powerfully built guy. Look at that forearms and wrists. So when he gets striking, anything can happen.
The accounting major at the University of South Carolina. Didn't get the 10 pin on the left lane.
Well, the championship pair, 27 and 28 here at Eastway Lanes in a 40-lane bowling center. Now watch the action of the head pin. It'll go to the left sideboard. It'll come back across. The 5 clears out the 7. A real good break for Jeff would have been knock out the 10, but not to be.
This is our very first game at the Flagship City Open. Erie, Pennsylvania. It has to be the home to over 125,000 of the friendliest, most concerned people that we've met. Here's the grip of Walter Ray Williams.
The full grip just sticks it down, fingers into the first knuckle.
Walter Ray in need of a win. He's been on 19 telecasts since his last win, which was in 1987 in Edmond, Oklahoma.
The versatile style of Walter Ray Williams Jr. 5-step delivery. Watch the inside-out swing. The key to his game is saw the ball right over the 4th board, and he just saws the rack in half. The match is even after 2.
His 29th telecast appearance, where he's had an average of 223. Oh, this man has had 11 second-place finishes to go on with his 5 championships.
And it's been almost 4 years since he's won. And, you know, he's got to be shaking his head a little bit. But for Walter Ray, he's had some good breaks and bad breaks. And here he gets a pretty good break. He could have had the 2-4-5-8. And he ends up with just the 5-8, a much easier spare. But he needs to be thinking win. You know, after you go almost 3 years, no matter what a winner you are, you start thinking a little negatively.
Walter Ray. Does he look like a young Harold Flynn? We think so. He laughs when we tell him that. But he's a neat guy from, well, he was born in Eureka, California. He's from Stockton now and from South Carolina. Stocky Jeff Bellinger. Jeff Bellinger has a brother, an F-16 pilot, serving over the Persian Gulf. We asked him what he heard from him.
Well, I've talked to my brother several times since he's been over there. He's flown, currently flown 32 missions. And he says it's a little scary over there, but he's been trained to do that. The squadron he's in won the Gunsmoke 2 years ago, so they're the best pilots in the country. So I feel, you know, if I had to have somebody over there defending our country, I'd just as soon have my brother over there as anybody else, because he's the best at what he does.
All right. So Jeff gets a bad break right here, leaving the 2-4-8-10.
And Chris, everybody's come in light on the left-hand lane, and actually it hooks a little bit more. For Jeff, he has a chance to make this. He can throw the big hook ball, get it over here in the 2-4 zone, have the 2-pin go into the 10, and hopefully clear out the 8. It's a tough shot. You have to throw a real big hook at it, so he'll take a chance.
Valiant try by Jeff Bellinger. So with an open frame now, it's a 12-pin lead by Walter Ray Williams.
Right now, your Ford dealer can offer you dealer incentives and option packages that can save you thousands. Fact, savings on the best-built, best-selling American cars and trucks. Call it leadership. Call it winning. Call it anything you want. The simple fact is, Ford is #1. Get all the facts and all the savings during Leadership Month at your Ford dealer now.
Got a painful cold? Alka-Seltzer Plus relieves painful cold symptoms some others miss.
Everything feels better, better, better.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. Relief for your painful cold.
Red Devil enamel. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary paints, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil enamel for the finish of a lifetime.
Back again, Eastway Lanes.
The left-hand lane, Chris, Bellinger trying to take out the 8-pin. The 4-pin is actually the pin that has to take it out, and he has to play the great big hook. Just nicks if it doesn't take it out, and that leaves Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the lead by 12 pins. He's coming up in the 4th frame.
Okay, there he is. 6'2", 180 pounds. Spare up. Leaving the 4-7 on the right lane. Looks long and hard.
We got a pin on him, Dad.
As you could tell, he is mic'd.
Chris, a pin flew back out in front of the rake. Now, they must clear that before he can take a shot. So you'll see the pin. It'll be driven straight back. It's probably the 1 or the 5 pin. Goes straight back. Not the B. It was the 3 pin. Kind of got paralyzed. Now they cleared it out. Walter Ray can go for the 4-7. We've had a mechanical failure. Somebody actually hit the reset button. Now all 10 pins are up. They have to reset the 4 and 7. So they'll quickly do that.
Oh, isn't it amazing how seldom we have a mechanical failure?
Well, it really wasn't a mechanical failure. A little miscommunication that fell us down, and there's no mechanics to that. That's human power.
All right. There you go. $150,000 Fairlanes Open. That's next week at 3 Eastern of Pacific. That'll be from the lovely state of Maryland. So you probably should explain that thumping noise as Walter Ray's ball rolls down the lane.
Chris, Walter Ray just kills his shot completely. He uses a very slick surface, a very low friction surface, and he rolls it straight end over end. It's a thumb and finger hole. It's just all you need is accuracy for those spares. Walter Ray voted the best spare shooter on tour, so that's the way to do it.
Powerful strike. Now he gets the part of the crowd behind him here in the Flagship City Open. Over his shoulder on the right, tournament directors here have done an amazing job. Nancy and George Warren. 3 months in which to prepare for this event, and a second to none, really. High hit nearly in the channel first, however.
Well, we're taking a look at the championship pair, and we set it up the oil pattern, but here's how the championship player is playing. As you see, Bellinger's ball going extremely wide and breaking sharply, leaving the 3-6 avoids the split. The left-hand lane, 27, hooks more than 28, but the players have been giving it a little too much room, and it's caused them problems.
All right. Jeff taking very little time. He used to be a lot more methodical. Still occasionally works with his resin bag right there.
Has to knock that off the ball. Can't have anything on the ball. Can be left on the lane surface. Now we'll see how Bellinger's attacking the pair. He's starting in the center. He's going to drift very slightly and start the ball right in this lane, right inside the first arrow, play the big hook wide. Very powerful style.
Oh, he walked away from that one in a hurry. Knew that it was perfect in the 1-3 pocket. Bellinger striking the 6th frame. 10-pin lead held by Walter Ray Williams. He can increase it to 20 here in the 6th. Needed some help to get the 10 out. Didn't get it.
Walter Ray commented on his 11 second-place finishes over the last 3.5 years, and some of it's luck. And here he had a little bad luck. Just rips the rack apart. The head pin goes flying across. bounces in the 6 but doesn't take out the 10. Often you'll carry that with a powerful ball like he's rolling.
Then, disaster.
Oh, come on.
Well, Chris, we have seen the man who has been voted the best spare shooter on tour miss spares this year in the championship round. He missed one in one of the first 2 appearances he had out in the West Coast in California, and once again he slides by the 10-pin, opens the door up for Bellinger. He would have had Bellinger down by 10. Now it's Bellinger up by 2. Let's see if Walter Ray can come back. 7th frame.
Okay, we're in our very first match. 2 pins separating these professional bowlies in Erie, Pennsylvania. We'll return.
Heartburn? You know what to do about that.
But what if it's heartburn plus gas?
Well, now comes Tom's Plus. Calcium-rich antacid relief plus gas-busting simethicone.
No other antacid gives you that.
No, sir. To get rid of heartburn plus gas, don't get caught minus. New Tom's Plus.
I'm a smoker, but in my office, it doesn't work. No problem. I chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. That cool, clean taste fits any agenda. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
How do I know where to get my brakes done right?
Come to Midas. You get a lot of value for the price, plus peace of mind, knowing the job will be done right.
That's why more people come to us for brakes, knowing that nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
The world's top skaters take the ice for the grand finale of the NutraSweet World Challenge of Champions. Next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
If they had had room, they could have put another 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000 people here. That's the enthusiasm for bowling. Our affiliate here gets one of the highest ratings in the country, a 14. Come on, baby. And that's why. Double and a 12-pin lead. Here's Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Harold Sullens, in the next match, obviously you're out there to win, but what kind of mistakes do you have to guard against in a championship round match?
Well, I think this pair here, Bo, going to have to watch the ball speed. The lanes are a little tricky. Most of the right-handers had problems all week, but if I can get the right adjustments quick enough, I'll be okay, and hopefully at 2-3 games, I'll be taking home that trophy.
All right, Chris, he's going to work on his ball speed. Back to you.
All right, with a doubled up, Jeff Bellinger. 8th frame.
Come on, baby.
All but the 8-pin. He was trailing, but then he took the lead when Walter Ray Williams opened in the 6th frame. This is our very first game. The winner to meet Harry Sullins, then Marc McDowell, and then our tournament leader, Jess Stayrook. That's Sullins continuing to practice. Jeff seemed a little worried after the release. Got down on the knee hoping that it would cover the pin. It did.
Well, for Walter Ray, this is a key frame. He really messed up there in the 6th frame when he missed the 10-pin on a good shot. He could have a nice lead right now, but he trails by 11. Can cut the lead down to 1 pin with a double here in the 8th.
Okay, earlier we said that Walter hadn't been in the winner's circle. We asked him what he had to do to regain that winning touch.
Well, it's been 3.5 years since I've won, and I've made almost 20 shows, but it's a matter of just getting out there and bowling some really good matches and knocking down more pins than my opponents. So I've had my share of good matches, but my opponents have seemed to come through a little better than me, and today I'm going to turn that around.
And Walter Ray comes through in the clutch at foundation 9th frame, bringing 3 in a row, and now he has the lead by 9 pins with Bellinger up. Bellinger spare working, Bo. Tense.
Chris, Bellinger can shoot a 217 if he strikes the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th frames. Finished with 4 in a row. No way can he shut out Walter Ray Williams Jr. The match is up for grabs. 2 frames to go. Disbelief. Still
trembling down there.
Ton of power on that shot. He really leaned back for a little extra. As you watch the wrist action of Belanger, watch this. Good slide. Look at that wrist action. Really, really good. And he just throws all 9 pins around, gets a bad break, and does not get the 10 pin.
So we hope his brother John, who's an F-16 pilot, will have better luck and not leave anything like that wobbly 10 pin. So,
well, it's time for Jeff Bellinger to shoot them all down, and I know his daughter Kimberly Ann is home rooting for him, and she says, come on, Daddy, throw a couple of strikes here and tie up this match. He can tie it up and put the pressure on Walter Ray Williams Jr. with a couple of strikes here in the 10th.
okay, here's the man that helped his daughter sell Girl Scout cookies to the professional bowlers. Delivered them this week, and he even had time to succeed in bowling.
Walter Ray showing a little bit of the tension not looking at his opponent. For Jeff Bellinger, he needs a strike to even the match. We have a possibility of a tie.
Commodore Perry was aboard the Niagara. You know, in the victory of the Battle of Lake Erie, Bo, that sort of secured the Northwest Territory, and Commodore Perry had another battle cry. And with Jeff bowling his brother in an F-16, Commander Perry's cry was, "We have met the enemy, and they are ours."
Well, this match is in that situation. These players are not exactly enemies, but opponents. Right now, it could be an all-even match if Bellinger strikes.
There's a 206.
We saw the head pin go by the 10 pin 2 or 3 times in this match, but in a crucial situation, Bellinger gets the break, and he makes Walter Ray Williams Jr. strike on this ball. If he does not strike, it is all over. If he strikes, he wins.
Incredible. This is our 7th week in a total of 24 tournaments for 1991, 16 on the Winter Tour. And, Bo, we haven't had a dull one yet.
Not really. That was a great shot by Walter Ray Williams Jr. Voted the best spare shooter on tour, misses a spare, and he's going to start going into the best clutch situation voting next year if he keeps striking like this when he needs it.
Walter Ray Williams coming through in the clutch. He will now meet Harry Sullins of Detroit. Stay tuned, and a word now from our ABC station.
American football goes global. The World League premieres March 24th.
The Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. Venus de Milo lacks arms. Chickens have no lips. Why? Ask why. Try Bud Dry. It's cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. So when it comes to refreshment, nothing's missing.
Power failure? Here's something that'll brighten your mood. The Black & Decker Safe Lighter Emergency Light from True Value Hardware Stores. It lights up automatically during power failures. Works as a portable flashlight or a handy nightlight. In February, get the Safe Lighter Emergency Light from Black & Decker for just $7.99 while supplies last at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers. Costner. Sarandon. Bull Durham. Sunday.
Harrisburg Copiers wants to help your business be more productive with Mita high-performance copiers, the advanced copying system for today's business needs, the pressures of business. Today's copiers must be faster, easier to use, more reliable, versatility and productivity. Mita Copiers, performance and beyond. Harrisburg Copiers stands behind every Mita copier with service and reliability. See the selection of quality Mita copiers at Harrisburg Copiers. Simply the best with 25 years experience.
Strike it rich in Rochester, New York at the Lilac City Tournament. Call 1-800-36-LILAC to enter. Bowl for over $950,000 in cash prizes. There's 14 great events. Enter the men's, women's, and mixed events. Win with the Lilac. There's singles, doubles, and team events. So enter now. Everybody wins with a great time at the Lilac. It's the world's fastest growing bowling tournament. And we plan to pay over $950,000. Win with the Lilac.
WHTM TV 27, Harrisburg.
The Pro Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Bud Dry. Why ask why? Bud Dry, for refreshment that's beyond question. And by Power Stick Antiperspirant, the power that puts you in control.
Here in Erie, Pennsylvania, Walter Ray Williams Jr. of California with 7 strikes defeated Jeff Bellinger of South Carolina 224 to 206. Now Walter Ray will go against Harry Sullins. Walter Ray shooting first, left lane. Zeroed in here at the Eastway Lanes, a house of 40 lanes, where great bowlers, left and right-handers, went at each other. Our left-hander, tournament leader, Jess Stayrook. Now Sullens. Leading the 6, the 9, and the 10.
A little apprehensive on his first shot. Harold Sullins, obviously momentum all Walter Ray Williams Jr.'s way. He just was lucky to get in the top 5. Then he wins that first match in the clutch. So it behooves Harold Sullins to get off to a quick start, make the spare, and throw some strikes.
All right. What an Ironman type of performance Harry has. Since July of 1986, he has bowled in 148 consecutive tournaments.
Do you say Iron Man or Iron Head?
Man.
148 in a row.
That takes a lot of upstairs, doesn't it?
It does. They have to take that straitjacket off of him to get to the bowling lanes, I can tell you that. All right, second frame.
High hit. That arm must be tired, though.
All right, tough spare. We've seen this quite often on the PBA Tour. He has to get the ball over in the 3-6 zone. The key pin's the 9 pin. Got to carry through the 3-6, avoid the chop, have the ball take out the 9. Here's how it looks, right in here, let the ball take out the 9 pin. Sullins would like a reaction like that, second frame.
Harry Sullins, 3 victories, 8 years as a professional. Delightful guy.
Walter Ray Williams Jr., the #1 average in the Professional Bowlers Tour this year, 1991 at 220. He was #2 last year at 216, so always tough.
Hitting a 4-pin. Walter Ray was in our first 2 telecasts of the year. He was second in the AC Delco Classic, third at the Showboat Invitational. Often viewers will ask me, though, what do you have to average to make match play? Well, here at Eastway Lanes, you have to average 218 to make it.
That's about the average, Chris. And as you see Walter Ray Williams Jr., how he got there, he's playing extreme outside line. He's going to drift a little bit left. He's going to play that ball right around the first arrow.
Two strikes in 3 frames. He had 7 in his victory over Jeff Bellinger.
Chris, to follow up on the scores, we've had high-scoring tournaments where it's taken over 230 average to make the championship rounds, and it has been a few years, but occasionally it's taken under than 200 average when they make the lane conditions extremely tough. Once again, it's PBA lane maintenance. They determine the condition. Now Sullens.
We had 5 300 games. 2 by our tournament leader, Jess Stayrook.
4-step delivery of the tall, ectomorphic Harold Sullens. 6 feet tall, curls that wrist underneath the ball. Tremendous wrist action, very similar to Jeff Bellinger, who we saw in the previous match against Walter Ray. When Harold can put it around the pocket, the pins will talk. Needs a double to take the lead.
Disastrous high hit, as you can see.
That is ugly. The 3, 6, 7, 10. But he can make that. All he has to do is get the ball in that 3-6 zone. Harold's a pretty good spare shooter. Get it over here, shoot that 3 pin over into the 7. The ball take out the 6 and 10 pins. Has to stay in contact with Walter Ray in this match. It'd be very good to make this split.
Give it an all-out try. Harry Sullins of Detroit, 33-year-old, going against Walter Ray Williams, Jr., who leads by 17. We'll be back.
Hold it. Ho, ho, ho. So you're going to finally meet Cindy, huh? Tonight. Good. So first impressions are very important. I think. Okay. Now, imagine. Lights are low, the music's soft. Knock the door opens up. Somebody's out there doing this. What is this? She's got dandruff? No, you have dandruff. No. Yes, you do. I shampoo every day. You shampoo your brains out with regular shampoo. Wouldn't matter. Brains out? Yeah, well, so use that. Head and Shoulders? Works for me, my friend. But you don't have dandruff. Exactamundo!
Head and Shoulders, because you'd never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Fact. Ford Thunderbird, Bronco, Mustang, Ranger, and F-Series pickup are all the best-selling vehicles in their class. Fact. The new Ford Escort is the best-selling small car in America. Fact. The new Ford Explorer is already outselling all of its competition. Call it leadership, call it winning, call it anything you want. The simple fact is, Ford is #1. Save now during Leadership Month at your Ford dealer.
You've seen Johnny Unitas. You've seen Brooks Robinson. Now watch another great Baltimore legend. It's the Fairlanes Open on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Harry Sullins bowling in the 5th green after an open, which means that he was trailing by 26 before that shot. And now with the 210, what else can happen here today? I've seen some remarkable performances, though. You can just get the left side of that 2-pin. We'll have a conversion. Nope, second open. Not that close, actually. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Marc McDowell, semifinal. We're watching Harold Sullins playing inside line, the big hook. It really looks spotty. What's your game plan?
Basically stay with what I've been doing. I've been playing the outside shot, outside of 5, down and in, and it's worked all week, and that's where I'm going to be today.
I think that's the best place for the righties, outside, down and in. Let's see if Sullins can make a comeback, Chris.
After 2 opens. Left the 10-pin, the left lane. And Marc McDowell, to whom Bo just talked, will be making his 3rd appearance on our telecast this year. All right, spare for Harry Sullins. His brother Bruce and his mother Rose came in from the Detroit area just to watch him perform. Now Walter Ray Williams defeated Jeff Bellinger 224 to 206 in the first game. Ten-pin.
Walter Ray, every ball around the pocket in his closeout of Jeff Bellinger in the first match. This match, in 6 shots, has been around the pocket. Strike, 4-pin, double, 10-pin, 10-pin. Walter Ray, a little shaky on his spares. Like to get that part of his game under control. He could continue to be tough today.
1986 Player of the Year. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, final round coverage of the Chrysler Cup. Lee Trevino and the United States team tries to capture their 4th consecutive title. Live coverage from Sarasota, 2 Eastern. That's tomorrow, right here on ABC Sports. pins. Showing his skills here, he has a 37-pin lead against Harry Sullins. More after this.
Just a reminder, proper maintenance with AC Delco parts can significantly reduce premature wrinkles. AC Delco, it's like buying time.
Red Devil Clear Polyurethane. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary clear finishes, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil Clear Polyurethane for the finish of a lifetime.
Head and Shoulders for my serious dandruff? Blue is better. Extra medicated Selsun Blue.
With a medicine doctors recommend most. Medicine that relieves flaking better than Head and Shoulders.
Blue is better.
Selsun Blue, doctor recommended #1.
The world's top skaters take the ice for the grand finale of the NutraSweet World Challenge of Champions. Next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Motoring in from Akron, Ohio, the commissioner of the Professional Bowlers Association, Joe Antonora. And he has praised the people here, what they've done, and they will have a tournament again next year. And they deserve to have another one, Bo.
You're right, Chris. As Harold Sullens leads the 10-pin, he's moved to the outside line, hopefully to catch up to Walter Ray Williams Jr., who he trails by 38 pins and has to make a move. Yeah, this has been a great play so far, Chris. Excellent tournament.
Harry with his third Open of this, his first match. Said he's been sharp all of this year. How did he get that momentum started?
Well, Bo, last year wasn't really a great year. I had a few good weeks, and you know, I finished the year off with a bang, winning the Santa Claus Open tournament over in Helsinki, Finland, which really got my momentum started for the year. I always bowl good the first 2 weeks, but this time I like to bowl good for the whole winter tour, and I like to finish real high in the money list and maybe make that first time on a Bowler's Journal All-America team.
Okay, Harry Sullins, product of Vincennes University and Wayne State. He won in 1985 True Value in Indianapolis, 88 Windsor, Ontario, and then in 89 A&W and Fair Lanes in Phoenix.
Walter Ray just coasting. 8th frame can open the lead to 59.
We like that shot from behind the pins.
Straight through, little piece of plexiglass. You see Walter Ray's ball breaking into the 1-3 pocket. Takes out 5, 8, and 9 pins. Perfect shot. Walter a possible 248 as he is whitewashing Harold Sullens.
Well, if he can maintain that style and power, he may win for the first time in 19 telecasts.
Well, it would be amazing if you only here last night to see how lucky he was to get into the top 5. Now he's making the most of it.
For likable Harry Sullins, that's only his second strike in 9 frames. And his family is here. There's Bruce and his mother Rose on the right. They run a trophy and shirt shop in Roseville, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit.
About 300 miles west of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Bo's tip of the week this week is very interesting. Gives you the advantages of using a custom-fit bowling ball.
One of the most important parts of the game, obviously the bowling equipment, the ball. The pros have them all custom drilled. Right now, Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Harold Sullins using the full fingertip grip, just the fingers inserted down to the first knuckle.
Late, but nevertheless, Harry Sullins putting together 3. He'll be in the 170s here in this second match. This is the Flagship City Open. with a 176. Bitter disappointment for a three-time champion.
Key for Walter Ray Williams Jr. is just stay focused, work on his game, and concentrate. Don't think about this score. He's got another tough opponent.
Okay, there you have the winner, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Custom fitting the bowling ball. Bo will tell you more about it in our next matches. Marc McDowell and Williams.
ABC Sports Bowling Tip of the Week is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
This week's bowling tip is on bowling ball fit. Now, if you're just a once or twice a year bowler, it's not necessary to own your own bowling ball and have a custom fit, because you can use a house ball. They're available at every bowling center, but there's some major drawbacks to a house ball. Number one, they're drilled for both left-handers and right-handers. Number two, the span is very short and your grip is often cramped. And number three, the holes are usually very big and it's hard to hold on to the ball. What happens when you swing one of these bowling balls is the fingers or thumb will come away from the center of the ball and the center of the hole, and you have to hold it with just the tips of your fingers, putting a lot of pressure on your hand. Now, what I recommend is to go to your pro shop dealer and get a properly fitted bowling ball. This one has been fitted for me and been cut away so I can show you what the grip looks like. The thumb is inserted all the way in the hole. It's up against the side of the ball, giving me a very comfortable grip. The fingers fit right in the hole all the way down to the second knuckle. There's no pulling away from the ball when I swing the ball. This gives me a lot of power, a relaxed grip. It's easy on my hand. So for you league bowlers, do yourself a favor. See your pro shop dealer and get a properly fitted bowling ball.
Fact. The full-size Ford pickup has more repeat buyers than any other pickup. Fact. The full-size Ford pickup sales lead over Chevy is wider than last year. Fact. Our most popular model is priced $600 less than a comparably equipped Chevy. Call it leadership, call it winning, call it anything you want. The simple fact is, Ford is number one. Save now during Leadership Month at your Ford dealer.
Alka-Seltzer's Laws of Indigestion. Law number 5. The more sensitive your stomach is to pepperoni pizza, the more you will crave it. For heartburn with headache, you need Alka-Seltzer, because there's no law against fast relief.
I smoke, but on this flight, cigarettes are grounded. My answer? Wrigley Spearmint Gum. And that cool, clean taste never lets me down. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
Snow, incredible snow.
You are psyched, huh?
It's our first trip to America's premier ski resort. Hey, what do you think?
Black, huh?
Yeah.
I can see you working the main lodge tonight there in the romantic glow of a roaring fire. Your dandruff takes its toll.
Dandruff? 'Tis the season for the flakes that don't melt. I shampoo every morning.
Shampoo till spring with an ordinary shampoo. Won't work like this.
You use Head & Shoulders. You don't have dandruff.
Nothing gets by you, does it?
Head & Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Strike out to score more.
I just can't seem to find the pocket.
Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Bo Burton's instructional home videos, Score More, help you solve your bowling problems.
Here's what the pros do.
Learn Bo's valuable tips on performance, practice techniques, body conditioning, and equipment selection, and Score More. Only $24.98 plus $3 shipping. To order Bo's home video, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
And here in friendly Erie, Pennsylvania, in our match one, Walter Ray Williams defeated Jeff Bellinger 224-206, 7 strikes, and Walter Ray with 7 more in the second, defeating Harry Sullins 236-176. So now we move into the third match for Walter Ray as he goes against the PBA president, Marc McDowell. There he is. As we say at ABC Sports, let's go up close and personal. When Marc McDowell returns home after life on the Professional Bowlers Tour, he's greeted by a tight-knit family who stands firmly behind him.
I remember the day that he left. I said goodbye to him, and I said, I'll see you on TV. And he said, Mom, be realistic. He said, that'll be at least a year from now. And I think it was 3 weeks later, and he was on TV for his first time in Kansas City. And I guess I knew at that point he was for real.
Mark's father, a senior member of the PBA, was Mark's mentor in his early years.
I think my dad, early on, was the big influence on me getting started in bowling and teaching me the fundamentals and the basics of the game. He's a super coach. He's a junior coach now and has influenced a ton of bowlers.
Following an All-American collegiate bowling career at West Texas State, McDowell earned PBA Rookie of the Year honors in 1986. Mark won his first PBA title 2 years later and is coming off a solid season in 1990. But it was off the lanes where McDowell made his mark. He married the former Patty Martin in May and was inaugurated the PBA president in November. The youngest ever at age 28.
I think we need to go into a little different area as far as like the tennis has, Andre Agassi and other flamboyant people like that, you know, to where we can maybe let our hair down a little and not try to keep these, you know, starched collar, real stiff-necked professional image that we have. I know some people disagree with that, but I think we need to be a little more aggressive and flamboyant out there just to get the younger people involved and interested and just to give us a little better, more exciting image.
Okay, and there he is live at the Eastway Lanes here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Now he goes against Walter Ray Williams Jr. The handshake, customary. Capacity, standing room only crowd. Walter Ray, 2 victories. Third match. His 15th strike of the afternoon. He loved it. He loved it. So you see that broad smile.
Whew. Been a while, Chris, since the confident smile. Remember when we first saw him come over, we used to call him the showboat gambler with that kind of wily look, and that's the first time we've seen it in a couple of years. That means going on to win this. We'll see in about 45 minutes. Now, Marc McDowell.
And the 28-year-old who is truly a credit to this sport, this competition, Marc McDowell. Replay.
Very powerful style, stocky guy, former football player, good pivot step, inside-out swing, and he's terrific from the outside line where he's playing right now. Gets a good break there and just leaves the 4-pin instead of the 2-4-5, but when he's outside, he's very tough. Good straight arm swing.
Where did you first see Mark bowl, Nelson?
Chris, about mid-1980s, I was doing some exhibitions. I met him in Madison, Wisconsin. He was one of the amateurs that volunteered to bowl me in the match game or exhibition, and he bowled extremely well. I sat down and talked to him later, arranged for him to get a sponsor, and he's taken the ball from there and has really been a credit to the game, and his career is really moving along.
Third telecast this year, 4th at Quaker State, 4th at AC Delco. Acknowledging the crowd. Many in the crowd are behind him, including his wife, Patty. Walter has joined the mobile home set with a big 5th wheeler this week. Whoa, well, yeah, I guess, Walter.
Well, the right-hand lane, the ball slides much farther down the lane, and that's the type of reaction that Walter got on that shot. And oh my, he threw the ball as well as he thought he could. Did not read the lane properly. Ends up with a pretty easy spare. Now for Walter Ray, he's getting that real good extension and follow through today, Chris, so he could be tough. When he's reaching out, he's tough.
This is a game between the number 2 seed of our 5 finalists and the number 5. And Walter Ray, in his 5 victories, has won from various positions, including the top seed, also where he's had to win 4 games in order to be a champion. He did that twice. He's more enthusiastic today than we've seen him in a long time.
No doubt. Good wrist action. Watch the head pin. And when the ball strikes the head pin, Walter is stretched out. He snapped that wrist over. Now watch what happens. Those pins know if you've thrown that ball without fear and if you put the proper power on it, and they reacted positively for that young man. Now, McDowell, can he answer the challenge?
Marc McDowell. Opened with a spare, then a double. Marc McDowell, who was bumped off the Firestone list 2 weeks ago, now has a special incentive.
No doubt there's an incentive to get back in the Firestone. I definitely was keeping track of who was on the shows, and I knew when I got bumped off, so I think it's given me a little extra incentive to get out here and get focused in again and hopefully go through right to the title today.
Well, he's got 3 in a row, and he's staying close, making it a 20-10 lead now with Walter Ray. We'll be back.
For 10 years, Ford has had the best-built American cars and trucks. Fact, for 4 years, Ford has had the best-selling cars and trucks, American or import. Fact, Ford cars and trucks have more repeat buyers than anyone else, American or import. Call it leadership, call it winning, call it anything you want. The simple fact is, Ford is #1. Save during Leadership Month at your Ford dealer now.
This is the sound of Unisom, the sound of sleep. With Unisom, you hit your pillow and fall asleep fast. Tonight, you can sleep more soundly with Unisom, America's #1 sleep aid.
When minor arthritis pain holds you back, you need strong medicine. Bengay with not just 1 but 2 pain relievers. Warming power for fast relief. Bengay helps get you going again. Bengay, fast, strong medicine for pain relief. National Powers take the court as the Duke Blue Devils take on Pac-10 near Arizona. Or Michigan meets Fort White, Indiana. It's ABC's college basketball tomorrow.
That's right, live doubleheader coverage of regional here on ABC Sports tomorrow. Walter Ray Williams, Jr. 2 wins thus far today, now trails by 20, can cut it to 10 with a strike. Okay, let's go to Bo.
Thank you, Chris. With my tournament leader, Jess Stayrook. Jess, the right-hander struggled all week on the championship here, and you averaged 250. Do you have any thoughts about these guys bowling so well right now?
Well, I just think it's the idea of the show and the lights and the cameras and everything, and they're just the best of them's coming out right now. And
how about predicting me a winner then?
I'm going to win.
Okay, Chris, there's an attitude for you. Back to you.
Well, he's got 2 crankers, 2 wound-up guys, one of whom will meet him. They are right-handers, and Walter Ray Williams now with 3 in a row has made the match all even. So each professional with 3 strikes. Semifinal game, here's Marc McDowell. He's 5'8", 160 pounds. Had the best match play record, 18-5-1 out of 24. Patty. Blue-eyed Patty.
Well, we've seen that head pin doing a lot of action. Now watch this, shooting back through the pins. You're looking up the lane. Here comes the ball. Now watch the action of the head pins. Going to the right part of your screen. Here it comes back across. Bingo, takes out the 10. Chris, so far this year, the man who has led through 5 frames has won 67% of the matches. Right now, that's McDowell.
Can go up by 20 with a strike here. And still smile. Jess Stayrook, the left-hander. You hear the pin fall off to our right as we look at Patty. Mark needs a win today to qualify for the Firestone. Knocked out by John Mazza 2 weeks ago. Knocked off the Firestone tournament list. Now, 3 in a row. Can take the lead by 1. Okay, coming up next on Wide World of Sports, Peggy Fleming, David Santee, and I covered this event in Barcelona, Spain. Let me tell you, I've done a lot of special performance telecasts in figure skating. This is by far the most beautiful, with Torval and Dean, Gary Beacom, you name them, all the best in the world. Loved it. Three, 6, 10.
Watch the arm swing of Walter Ray Williams Jr. He gets it away from his body and he pulls it across inside the first arrow. Drifts high, leaves the 3, 6, 10 spare. Fairly easy shot across lane.
Okay. The winner will meet the tournament leader, Jess Stayrook, soon. More of this match after this.
Drixoral is. Sudafed isn't. Drixoral is. Contac isn't. Drixoral is. Actifed isn't. Drixoral is. Of all the things you can buy for a cold, Drixoral is the only 12-hour medicine that was once a prescription and is still available in its original prescription strength. Dimetap isn't. Drixoral is. Tylenol Cold isn't. Drixoral is. Coadvil isn't. Drixoral is. Dristan isn't. Drixoral is.
Why do fools fall in love? Why do opposites attract? Why do gentlemen prefer blondes? Why do women have all the answers? Why? Ask why? Dry. Cold filtered for smooth draft taste. Dry brewed for no aftertaste. Because if true love's not the answer, true refreshment must be.
You've seen Johnny Unitas. You've seen Brooks Robinson. Now watch another great Baltimore legend. It's the Fairlanes Open on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
The hospitable proprietors here, Audrey and Bob Lytle and Andy Lucas. And George and Nancy Warren, the tournament chairpersons, husband and wife, did a super job.
Super job done by everyone. Erie Times News, front page.
Oh, boy.
Chris Schenkel.
Oh, really?
Chris, just today.
First time ever.
You deserve it.
Thanks.
Now, 7th frame. McDowell leads by 2.
Well, can he do a John Mazza?
Looks like pretty easy split. They were 1 for 1 last week. Let's see what McDowell does. I think he's going to stand to the left, throw the ball as hard as he can at the 10-pin. Let's see what happens.
Patty senses the importance of that last shot and the result. But only 11 pins separating Walter Ray and Marc McDowell. Another high hit.
2 ways to adjust the lanes. Walter Ray Williams Jr. adjusts his feet, adjusts his target on the lanes. Marc McDowell, a little more contemporary, adjusts his speed. And right now he's got big trouble. He needs to get the ball over here and bounce out one of these pins.
Okay, we're in Erie, Pennsylvania, about 90 miles each from Cleveland and Buffalo and 130 miles from Pittsburgh. Speaking of that, Bill Meduno, one of the great TV sports writers, made the trip up here. Say hello, and we appreciate it. Pittsburgh Press. Like Walter Ray, we've known him a long time. And Walter Ray, he's a great ambassador for the sport of horseshoe pitching, 4-time world champion.
Right, Chris, he holds the world's record with over 91% ringers in a championship. He's won over 100 tournaments, but the most money he's ever won in a horseshoe tournament is $2,800. Their prize funds are a little short. He can lock up this match right here.
Oh, my.
I guess.
32-pin lead for Walter Ray. It was oh so close. And then the 2 splits for Marc McDowell, at whom you're looking now.
Imperative that McDowell strike on these next 2 shots. Without that, he cannot win. Trouble.
Despair.
Trouble. You know, we know talking about adjusting the lanes. Marc McDowell likes to adjust his speed. A little harder for dry lanes, a little slower for the tighter lanes. It's not a bad system, but as Patty looks on, I do believe what Walter Ray does, adjust his position all over the lane, is the best way.
But Mark, with 2 championships in 6 years, this very difficult PBA tour, his 3rd telecast of the year with 2 fourths.
Right now he has a possible 2:15. Walter Ray Williams Jr. going at a 2:37 pace. Only disaster on Williams' part could save McDowell. See you later.
Yes. Disappointed. And
well, he can try to make this, but I think he's just kind of giving up the ship here. Perry didn't, but McDowell had to.
Of the other days, Mark, he's more embarrassed than disgusted because this is a true champion, Marc McDowell. Okay, there is the winner for the 3rd time. ABC Sports presentation of Professional Bowlers Tour. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Stayrook and Williams next.
I think if you're left, but I don't know, right, man. Okay, that's fine.
Power. Control. It's what makes us excel beyond others. Power Stick Antiperspirant. It excels. 50% more power per stroke. 50% more odor in wetness fighters. 24-hour protection. 24-hour control that lasts long after ordinary deodorant sticks start losing speed. All day, all night. Power Stick. The power that puts you in control.
Oh, no. My hair's not only going gray, now it's getting thinner. I wish they made something for gray, thinning hair.
They have. Grecian Plus. Grecian Plus is a fresh-smelling foam that gradually brings back natural-looking color, the famous Grecian way. But this Grecian has a big plus. It builds body for healthier, fuller-looking hair.
Your hair looks great. Feels thicker, too.
Grecian Plus, the total treatment for gray, thinning hair.
Al Michaels exposes secrets never made public. James Dean's cursed race car. A spitball clinic. The key to video secrets. America's best kept secrets. Monday.
Bowling in the USA. Bowling in the USA.
Oldsmobile, official car for NCAA championships, calls this time out to tell you about the other game in town. The Oldsmobile Drive to the Final Four Cellathon.
Right now, a brand new Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais with air, automatic, and 30 standard features is just $9,930 for qualified first-time buyers after $1,648 cash back and $600 first-time buyer's allowance.
Hey, with deals like this, you can't miss.
Now at your Olds Country dealer. Join us for an Emmy Award-winning newscast tonight at 6.
ABC News. This is a Gulf War update.
I'm Jean Meserve in Washington. The White House says a ground offensive against Iraq could come at any time now that a noon deadline has passed and Iraqi troops appear to remain entrenched in Kuwait. An 11th-hour session of the United Nations recessed this afternoon without apparent results, despite hints that Iraq was willing to accept portions of American demands. Meanwhile, the Allies continued to pound Baghdad with airstrikes overnight as Iraq launched another Scud missile attack today on Israel. And the U.S. military in Saudi Arabia accused Iraq today of waging a terror campaign in Kuwait, rounding up civilians it had previously tortured and executing them. This has been a Gulf War update.
And there's better news here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Walter Ray Williams winning the first match. Jeff Bellinger, 224-206. 7 strikes for Walter Ray. Won the second match with 7 strikes over Harry Sullins, 236 to 176. Now in his third victory, 10 strikes, 257 to Marc McDowell's 191. We're in Erie, and there you see the stepladder, as Williams now will go against our tournament leader, left-hander Jeff Stayrook. Capacity crowd, standing room only, in a town with great enthusiasm. And there will be enthusiasm in Randallstown, Maryland next week. Finals of the Fairlanes Open there. And 2 weeks from today, we will be able to suit one of our favorite professionals, Johnny Petraglia in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
And the size of the field, 160 players this week. Average game 204, as Chris noted earlier. 218 to make the top 24. Some of the other finishers, Hamilton just missed by 1 pin. He could be shooting himself. Here's a tie for 8th. Hardy and Ballard there at $3,150. McCune and Petraglia. There's Johnny looking forward to his tournament in 2 weeks. Pensac, he's still 15-0. He's got to make the top 5 to get going there. John Mazda, we've seen a number of times. Mike Shady, Alan Bishop, strong lefty. Mark Thayer, Mike Edwards still holding a hot hand, $1,800. Wyndon, Robert Lawrence, he's better get going too. He's almost on the Firestone bubble. Bowers, Parker Bowen III has a little benefit coming up after the Johnny Petraglia Open, his home place. Rich Wolf, Bobby Fleetwood, running out the top 24. Joe Salvemini. Chris, an exciting final match coming up.
Yes, it is. Jess Stayrook, tournament leader. From the left side, he's 6'1", 175 pounds, 31 years old, has 1 tournament victory. From the top seed, he won the Seattle Open.
Averaged 257 on the championship pair this week and lapped the field. 234 average for all 42 games. He could be very, very tough, but Walter Ray's hot.
Jess of San Diego, California, has switched from eyeglasses to contacts.
It's a good idea. Better all-around peripheral vision. Much better for outdoor sports, but he's a champ on the indoor sport, bowling.
All right, 8th telecast for Jess, first of this year, and he's going against red-hot Walter Ray Williams. Was also 3-time junior world horseshoe pitching champion. And Bo, he has quite a goal in his horseshoe pitching life.
Well, his goal is to be the personal coach of our president, George Bush, who has a 25% ringer average, and he'd also like to get George a little more involved in bowling, but I think George has his hands full over in the Persian Gulf right now. Let's see what Walter Ray can do in this match.
10 pin. 24 total strikes coming into this, his 4th match.
The action of the 6 pin, the 2nd pin on the right-hand part of your screen, just does not have enough impetus to whack out the 10. Walter Ray a little shaky on this spare so far today. He has missed it once.
We're in Erie, where there is the best natural harbor along the American shore of Lake Erie, because the bay is formed by Presque Isle Peninsula. A lot of waterfront activity here in the summertime, too.
Nice skiing in this area, too, Chris. They have a lot of year-round activities. Stayrook dominated the field for 42 games. He has to win 1 more for the title.
Oh, yes. Sharply breaking into the 1-2 pocket.
Watch the style of Jess Stayrook. Nice, smooth, short, choppy delivery. A little late on the push wave, but look at this good inside-out swing. He's physically very strong. Just sucks that 7 pin right off. Excellent shot. And you notice the deep inside line he's playing. A lot of changes in the sport of bowling. You can see where he's playing right now. He's playing right in the center. Now watch where he'll slide, right over in this area. But the angle's right over the 4th arrow. You used to not see lefties playing that line. Stayrook's strong enough to do it.
All right. And with that double, he takes a 10-pin lead. with Walter Ray up now, shooting in the third frame, spare working.
The full approach. You can use as much as you want as long as you don't go over the foul line.
Walter making his presence known, checking out his slide area.
You know, it might have happened, Chris, and it happens every once in a while. Good technique by Walter Ray. We noticed Jess Stayrook playing that real deep inside line. He's actually sliding almost in the same area as Walter Ray Williams Jr., and maybe Stayrook twisted his ankle or twisted his foot a little bit and left a little rubber up there, so it made it sticky for Walter Ray. He has to watch for it.
Sounded like it was a strike, didn't it?
I think he broke a pin.
I do,
You
too.
get that sound when you just hear a cracked pin. You're used to hearing all 10 solid pins, and I think he popped 1 1/2 down there. So Walter Ray, no luck. Strike, solid 10, strike, solid 10, the first 4 frames.
All right, this is our championship match, the Flagship City Open, Eastway Lanes in Erie. We'll be back.
Sometimes, without any warning at all, cars and trucks quitting before their time, before their owners get the most out of their investments. Maybe they don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last. Maybe they should. AC Delco. It's like buying time.
Nothing beats a bud with a friend. Nothing beats what we've got here. Nothing beats clean, crisp, cold. Nothing beats the king of beers. Yeah, nothing beats a bud. Yeah, nothing beats a bud. Nothing beats a Budweiser. Nothing beats a bud.
Eastway Lanes, Erie, Pennsylvania. Jess Stayrook, the tournament leader, has had to watch Walter Ray Williams, his opponent here in the finals, win 3 matches. Now in a close match, Stayrook with a double up can increase his lead to 20 pins. That he does. Recently, Jess made some physical changes in his game, which hurt his performance. What were the changes, and what corrections has he made?
Well, last fall, I stretched my span out a little bit too much. I usually bowl really well when I stretch my span out, and I had a really good fall. And but in Reno, the lanes were kind of dry, and I slightly pulled a tendon in my wrist, and I've been suffering for that for about 3 months now. I've been rehabilitating it. And it's feeling a lot better now, and I'm going to try to go out today and bowl real good.
Well, with 4 in a row, he's starting to dominate here in the championship game. A guy that works out at the gym, in addition to bowling a lot.
Good weightlifter is Jess Stayrook, and he rehabilitated himself with really no medication, just all weightlifting, and took about 3 months. Now, it behooves Walter Ray to get some strength.
That's a strike to remember coming in the 5th frame for Walter Ray Williams. If you just joined us, he has won 3 matches.
Once again, the head pin in play. Goes to the left sideboard. The messenger, as they call it on the PBA Tour. Takes a lot of years of practice, a lot of power to develop that shot. Walter Ray needed it there. Now he's left 2 10 pins on his left lane. He needs a strike.
Carry! You heard him say, carry.
Television coordinator Frank Esposito has always said the game is on. 2 determined players, 4 frames left.
Winner of this title match, 20,000 runner-up 10-5. Big difference of winning or finishing second.
This man can throw strikes. He had 2 300 games in this tournament. He holds the PBA record for 32 games of qualifying at 241 average. Also the 56-game record at 238 average. That's our long format tournaments, such as in majors. So you know he can throw strikes, and now he has 5 in a row. Could make it 6.
Jess Stayrook apparently loves that top seed. Lost one tournament from it, but his only title came from it.
Well, he's just killing him, Chris. Walter Ray's got to wonder what hit him. Walter cannot afford to miss striking. Stayrook looks too good. I think Stayrook just kind of broke Walter's momentum, if anything. Just solid match play there with a solid 6 strikes in a row. It took the wind out of Walter's sails temporarily. He can't afford that to happen.
Seemingly a hurried shot. Lack of concentration, maybe?
That's just terrible. Walter Ray has to rethink his spare shooting lately. I mean, he's one of the best spare shooters that I've ever been around. And he's been erratic in the championship rounds. He's missed 2 easy spares today, the 10-pin, the 3-pin. Inexcusable. He's opened the door for Stayrook.
Don DePlacido of the chamber here gave me the derivation of the word Erie. It comes from the Erie's Indians, fierce tribe here in the Erie Bow. 1615, they were actually dominated by the Iroquois.
Chris, I know you know most of the Indian tribes, so you're up to date in this part of the country.
Thank you. Look at him. He's shooting a lot of arrows. Man, and they're hitting the bullseye. Woo.
Now, the last 4 times the left-hander has dominated a tournament, he's playing a deep inside line, and that's what Stayrook's playing. When Albee won the U.S. Open, he was playing about this line. When Mazda won a couple of weeks ago, he was playing about this line. When Fisher won the TPC later in 1990, he won that line. So lefties are playing the deep inside line and being very successful.
Came late in the game, a 6-7.
Actually, Chris, I don't think he'll go for it. He'll just try to get the ball and give it a little bit of a chance. He'll need to get the ball over by the 6, try to slide it in the 7, but he's looking at the pin count. He really doesn't want to give up much pin count at this point because he has the match well in hand.
Okay. Open in the 9th frame, 2:26 through 9 for Jess Stayrook.
Just needs 1 pin in the 10th frame to lock this up. He doesn't even have to bowl now.
All right. Well, he was dominant throughout match play and stood off to the side. He loves that top seat, apparently.
Well, he's bowled so well in those championship matches. He surely asserted himself here against Walter Ray Williams. Walter had the hot hand, had a 250 in the semifinal, but it's been all Jess Stayrook.
And his 2 games in crushing this championship pair, 268 and 246.
And he's right at that 256, 257 pace. Scoreboard tells the story. 3 strikes, Stayrook 256. That'd be right on pace. Pro forma, a win for Jess Stayrook in the inaugural Flagship City Open.
Next week, Randallstown, Maryland, Fairlane. Pleasure to return there.
Just outside Baltimore.
And then in 2 weeks, the Johnny Petraglia Open.
You hear that, Johnny? You're getting to be pretty old when they got tournaments named after you, bud.
And he played well here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Remember, Bo, many a good tune has been played on an old violin.
That I am sure is true. As Jess Stayrook, he has a little tear in his eye. These players work so hard, and they put so many years of time, practice, dedication, and this is their career and livelihood. It's fun to have a victory.
And you know, for Walter Ray, great champion, it's the 20th telecast in which he has not come through with the championship. 3 victories, but here in the final game, he met Jess Stayrook. A 207 for Walter Ray Williams, and of course, the big score for Jess, the tournament leader. We'll give you that final score and have an opportunity to probably chat with the winner and perhaps the runner-up. But first, let's go to Frank Gifford in New York.
Thank you, Chris. A quick college update in basketball. Arkansas this afternoon beat Texas A&M 111-72, and 6th-ranked North Carolina over Clemson 73-57, and North Carolina becoming the first NCAA school to win 1,500 games. Kentucky is right there. 12th-ranked Kentucky beat Florida this afternoon 90-74. That was their 1,499th victory. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the conclusion of our coverage of the NutraSweet World Challenge of Champions. Today, special performances featuring, among others, Torval and Dean and Brian Boitano. We'll return to Chris Schenkel right after this message. Stay with us.
Own a foreign car, Midas has the right brake parts in stock for practically every foreign car. And our brake technicians are trained experts, so we do the job right and right away. For foreign car brakes, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Heartburn? You know what to do about that.
But what if it's heartburn plus gas?
Well, now comes Tom's Plus. Calcium-rich antacid relief plus gas-busting simethicone.
No other antacid gives you that.
No, sir. To get rid of heartburn plus gas, don't get caught minus. New Tom's Plus.
Strike out to score more.
I just can't seem to find the pocket.
Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Bo Burton's instructional home videos, Score More, help you solve your bowling problems.
Here's what the pros do.
Learn Bo's valuable tips on performance, practice techniques, body conditioning, and equipment selection at Score More. Only $24.98 plus $3 shipping. To order Bo's home video, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
When you're all stuffed up and use an ordinary nasal spray, it drips into your tissue where it can't help you breathe. But not Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine stays where you need it, so you can breathe the way you want to. We don't drip down, we clear up.
Fact. Ford outsells Chevrolet and every other American competitor. Fact. Across the country, Ford outsells Honda, Nissan, and Toyota combined. Fact. Every year for the past 4 years, Ford has had the best-selling cars and trucks in America. Call it leadership, call it winning, call it anything you want. The simple fact is, Ford is number 1. Save during Leadership Month at your Ford dealer now.
Yes, like the USS Niagara. Jess Stayrook was just as solid with a 256-207 win. And the money went down. Wow, you were solid.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everyone here at Eastway Lanes. You hosted a great tournament. I'd like to thank the fans for coming out here. You guys are one of our biggest crowds I've ever seen.
I find you absolutely irresistible.
2 300s during the week.
Yeah, that was nice.
You apparently like the top spot because your other victory, Seattle Open, came from it.
Yeah, I definitely would rather prefer performing from the top seed. That way you always got a shot at the title.
Well, because you got the title here, the Flagship City Open, George and Nancy Warren, who have done such a great job at staging this tournament in a short period of time, enough so well that we'll be back next year. They will move in now. And look at this trophy. We see a lot of unusual ones. Just there she is, the U.S. Brig Niagara trophy George is holding. George?
Jess, congratulations, and thank you for, thank you. This was excellent. I'm just tickled pink to have you here.
All right.
It was beautiful.
Pleasure being here.
All right, Nancy, with your nice yellow ribbon and American flag, you step in here.
Jess from Eastway Lanes in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'd like to present you this check for $20,000.
Thank you very much.
Guess what are your plans now for the rest of 1991?
I think I'm going to bowl for a while.
Like every week?
Yeah, I'll probably be out here every week.
Well, we appreciate
I'm definitely going to come back here next year.
Going from eyeglasses to contacts. That help?
Yeah, my vision is much clearer with the contacts, although I haven't quite got used to them yet. They're still bothering me a little bit.
I think maybe I better try it. Jess Stayrook is the champion for Bo Burton. All of us at ABC. See you next week from Maryland. Chris Schenkel.
The Pro Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by the makers of Tums, the sodium-free antacid that's rich in calcium. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
It'll put some zip in your zip code.
Monday at 5:30, followed by 27 News.
Washington Post called Roseanne sheer fun to watch, the most certifiably American couple. The Los Angeles Times called Roseanne a rip-roaring romp. Real people in the freshest sitcom since Cosby Show. Maybe making sitcom hit. Blue-collar zingers right on target. The funniest first episode of the new false. The last just won't stop. I won't change your pace. Never miss Roseanne.
Roseanne, one good picture deserves 1,000 words.